you guitar people. Devil & Sons makes guitars.
Or breaks guitars.
Devil & Sons breaks guitars. That's the slogan.
I'll give you royalties for it, maybe. It does work, actually. This is a eureka moment.
And then think about the logo where it breaks, but then maybe B, and then in parentheses, M. Breaks. No, that doesn't work.
There might be a
I'm working on it. I'm working on it.
M could slip. No, well, there'll be some way.
So here we're here with Crazy Daniel from Devil & Sons. Sounds like a very traditional kind of British mom and pop shop, but they break guitars. We'll get to the spacey ones, but this is the Ultra HD caster. This is so aged that, I know you guys don't like relic guitars. Some of you always bitch about it, which is fine. There's lightly aged with crackle. Then there's crackle and some dings and dongs. Then there's actually like down to the wood. And then there's this. The springs are in here somewhere, but they're not attached to the trem anymore. 2 screws have been left behind. The trem is not tremming, but this is a trem. This is deliberately bent up with the use of a nail screw. This is bent. This pickup isn't even under the strings. Where do we even begin? This has been broken off and then reattached with chewing gum. The volume is just volume now, actually. And as Adam pointed out in his video, it looks like a prop, but it actually is still working in a wobbly way. This is wrong in many ways. But Devil & Sons will make you memorable on stage.
That is part of the aim.
That's the idea is not to build the next studio monster with tonal qualities rivaling the Monterey Strat. It is actually trying to get it to look like the Monterey Strat probably looks nowadays, completely destroyed.
Maybe Mike should check the authenticity of this.
Yeah, he should check the authenticity. With those guitars, you will have the audience walk away and say, it was that band where that guitar player played that really fucked up guitar. And we're going to get to fucked up space guitars in a bit. So that's the idea. For your music video, that's the thing. It's probably not even the guitar you play for the whole gig. It's just the thing that you drag out to impress, to get into people's brains. It's a thing you might put into your living room to mess with your guitar playing friends if you don't actually play guitar, just to really make them cry when they come over. Yeah. This one, not the spacey ones.
So, I think you're right about not using it for every song. There's I made one for Mikey from Skindred, and he uses it on a specific song. And
Did you make him a normal guitar, just actually right-handed, and just said, deal with it?
He kept emailing me saying, don't forget I'm left-handed. But his one looks more normal than the rest of mine. But it looks like the logo for their Volume album, with the lights sort of glowing inside it. So he used it on a specific song from that album when he plays live. And that's what people do.
It makes the Showguitars.
Yes, exactly. There was an artist called Hunterwasser. He was an artist and architect. And he said, your skin is what holds your body together. And your clothes, your next layer of your skin, and they express yourself. And the house you live in expresses you. And you should lean out of your bedroom window and paint as far as you can reach around your bedroom window with the colour that represents you. And everything that you live in or hold is an extension of yourself.
My house is...
I feel like your house is coloured.
Coloured.
Painted.
But when you say the clothes express who you are, I don't think that's true. Because I know I look fucking ridiculous every single day. But A, I don't pay for them. And B, you watch the next video to see what messed up stuff I'm wearing. So, is this me? No. But it gets the clicks.
So this gets the sales?
So, these are £900.
Yeah. So
You
basically,
said around.
yeah. So I do make them with all my guitars. I occasionally make guitars like the ones here to sell, or customized guitars to sell, but often they're more like examples of what I can do, and then people approach me and say, "Can you do this for me?"
Okay.
And when we get into the conversation, the specs come out. What do they want? Do they want a guitar they've got customized? Do they want something made from scratch? Do they want these type of pickups? And so the prices vary depending on what people want.
Okay. Because looking at this, you didn't build this guitar.
No. So this one very specifically is, well, I say this very specifically, I worked on 3 of these at the same time, and I can't remember if this was originally a Squire or a Harley Benton.
I would actually say neither. If it was anything, it was a Squire, because these tuners are the shittiest thing on the market ever. They are either on extremely cheap Chinese guitars. Ibanez had them on, the mini Ibanez, the for the kids RG,
Yeah.
which several of my students bought, and they had these tuners in this type of casing, and they were completely unusable. I said you have to change the tuners. The guitar was fine, but it was it could have been Harley Benton had them on something very, very cheap. But when I see these things in this casing, I know that this is like a very, very cheap guitar, and they're horrible. But I mean,
it could be the Squire then, or it could be a mix. That's the thing that picks up. Like even these ones, they've got tuners from other guitars. These are the Grover ones, which I'm moving towards Grover as my go-to now. But who knows?
I'm moving towards Grover as my go-to.
Go-to, yeah.
Get it? Because that's also a tuner. Get it? It's okay.
Okay,
Let me explain this.
I'm there.
See,
I'm there.
I'm moving towards Grover as my go-to. Get it? Go-to. Because that's also you don't understand.
You should be a copywriter for me. Get my slogans and my.
I should be funny. That's but I'm not. So this is actually playable.
I will move.
Adam turned on. We're gonna go. Wait, we're gonna do the Woodrow and a little bit of this and a little bit of this. Who did the mix on this? Yeah. Adam, how did you play this?
I like to put my hand on the bridge.
Okay. It is, no offense, it is a cheap guitar. You can feel that, you can hear that, but it's not the idea.
No.
The idea isn't to give you the studio instrument to record. The idea is to go on stage or in a music video and just, in a music video, who cares what it sounds like? And on stage, you know what, for the song where you're playing the power chords, it actually sounded phenomenal when Adam did Green Day. Let's see if I can do Green Day. So we're going to go to the Woodrow here. It'll do the job.
Yeah.
So, and you will be remembered.
Yeah. So I think for a lot of people, when I'm working with them, they're sending me their guitars that they like to play, the ones they feel are right for them,
And
but
then
they
you,
don't like the
and,
look
then,
of.
and then you do this.
Yeah, or some version of that.
Remind me never to send you a guitar, because you're gonna do. Well, I mean, I just had my Harley Benton signature aged, so I did the same thing, just not that brutally aged and misshapen. Wow. in-between position because the in-between...
Yeah, so it's switched to a three-way.
Yeah. But it is a fully functional guitar. I love the idea. Be memorable. I mean, even look at the ferrules. We talked about this in the video we did outside for Mike's channel. He deliberately drew them diagonally, like Harry Potter. Get it? If you're a fan, you'll know. It's a straight, you don't know. So, okay, this is and has been a guitar.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things I like the most about meeting people like you with these guitars is the comment threads.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I do a lot of relicking for people. They'll send me a guitar and they want it just to look a bit more used. So, for example, I've just finished one for a Paul McCartney. He's a Paul McCartney impersonator in a Beatles band, and he wanted his Hofner to be like it was Paul McCartney's. So there's an aim to that, and that's sort of an excuse that some people will accept for relicking a guitar because you're impersonating someone else for a job. But most people aren't happy with it a lot of the time. The conversations.
I just had my Harley Benton signature H because I'm like, why not? You know, we had pickups put in amazing hardware, and it turned out to be a pretty damn good guitar for Harley Benton. And then people are like, why are you aging it? You know, I like it to be naturally aged. Well, I play guitars. I have like 60 of them, and I just don't play them hardcore enough for them to be aged. I don't go live on stage. I don't have people. I actually take care of my instruments. My guitars would never be dinged up like this. But for certain styles, it is nice to have an instrument that you're banging the shit out of. In my PRS Modern Eagle 2, I will not beat the shit out of. My Friedmans, which are aged, or my McMulls, you play them differently. You have a different relationship with them. When I played the Rockin' 1000 in Frankfurt in the stadium, I took my Friedman Vintage S, HSS Strat, but I was okay with leaning that on the amp. I was okay with just putting that on the floor because I know it would never break.
Yeah.
But any scratch, what do I care? And it's just you treat the instrument more like a tool as it should be instead of the collector's item that can't be touched.
That's just a very good explanation of how people use their guitars differently.
Why
people say, well, you just got to naturally relic it. Even if you play your guitar every day for 40 years, if you looked after that guitar, it would. Like
my Friedman Metro D, the whole back is scratched off. But the thing is, I treat those like a tool. When I need a guitar to be a tool, taking it live and not caring about it, they're high-end guitars, but I don't have to look after them and I know nobody touch them and put them back in the gig bag. And it's just, here's a tool to use. And once you treat it like a tool, I also think psychologically you play it differently. But that's just me. And what do I know?
Just to extend what you said, 100% agree. You're using it as a tool, you're playing it differently. When you have an instrument that looks different, you play it differently as well. So when I'm making a guitar for someone who wants it to look like a Viking guitar because of the music they're playing, suddenly they're there not just with a guitar, they're there with a thing that looks like it's a Viking weapon.
Yeah.
They're playing differently on stage, and that's what it's for.
And I mean, does it work or not? Well, Kiss has made a complete career out of, we have 3 songs that people know, and the rest is all, look at us, our guitars look like an axe.
Yes.
It's literally,
they smoke.
It's all show. And when you think of Kiss, I will guarantee you 1,000,000%, the first thing that comes into your head is the makeup, the shoes, the outfits, and the funky guitars, not any Kiss song. There are great Kiss songs. God Gave Rock and Roll to You, Detroit Rock City, and that disco one. But
God Gave Rock and Roll to You.
It's a cover, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Argent.
So there's 2. What do I know? Apparently that was a cover. But the first thing that you think of is the show. And you know what? Work for them can work for you. So if you're doing spacey stuff like Arjen Lucassen, for example, then maybe for the stage you want something that is spacey, put together from toys.
literally toys like this.
You know, cutting up. I forgot the word again.
So I've been describing it as kit bashing.
Kit bashing.
Which is traditionally what people would do if they're, for example, miniature hobbyists who make army models or space-age spaceships for games, and they take kits that you buy, but they want to make it their own by mixing the kits together.
Okay.
And that's sort of what this has come from. And again, this isn't like a mega expensive guitar. It is a guitar I've customised, and
it's based on. Is this an Epiphone?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's not quite finished. Like a very quick fret job to get it done for today. Not very.
Yeah, that needs a little bit more. Don't kill me.
And then it's only had one coat of varnish on. But anyway, the point is, it's a proof of concept. So if my clients come to me now and say, I would like, I've seen this.
Since you do custom stuff, you have something, I want space, I want dragons, I want whatever, then...
People see this and they think, oh, that's the sort of thing that would suit me.
Well, now I'm thinking, and now I always say, animals at the end, and there's animals at the end. Now, could we do animals on the guitar by taking, little, animal toys and putting like a whole jungle on the guitar?
Well, I have done a giraffe one, which was a giraffe print on it, but it had an animal toy giraffe tail hanging from the end of it.
Nice.
Where you clip your strap on.
There are these German animal toys which are absolutely amazingly detailed called Schleich. Do you know that?
I do know them.
Yeah.
I think my daughter has a few.
They're super, super nice and detailed. And I'm thinking, cut them in half, animals everywhere. I don't know if it would be playable, but...
It's the sort of thing you might embed in resin into a guitar or something like that.
Yeah, but I mean, that could be actually...
Oh, look, you were going to send me a guitar, but
now...
Send me your choice animals.
Might have to send you some Harley Benton I have and a whole bunch of animals and do a project with Devils and Sons. Sell my soul to the devil. Nah, not that I have a soul. So this is pretty damn cool. Again, would I take it into a studio session? No. But here's the thing. A lot of bands that have signature instruments, do they play them in the studio sessions? Slipknot, Mick Thompson, got great guitars, great signature guitars. In the studio, whatever goes will be used. If he needs a single coil Strat, which of course his guitar isn't, if he needs those clean sounds, the studio owner will go and say, we're going to grab the Strat here. I know, for example, that those types of bands, and Rammstein, whatever, they've used Tandler Les Pauls, which are some of the finest Les Pauls on the planet. They don't play those live because they don't have a deal with Tandler. They've got their signature thing. They want to sell the signature guitars. But in the studio, anything goes. If you're in the studio and you can play a Tandler or a Nick Huber and some of the finest sounding instruments in the world, you go for the best sound you can get. On stage, you got to impress. And realistically, I'll play an Epiphone on stage as long as it holds tuning and does the job, doesn't cut my fingers. But if I have a song about spice, then... So we've got a lot of knobs on here. I don't even know what they do. Oh, if I hit unmute, it actually does something. Jeez, that's so weird because you play over here.
Yes.
It's like, I want to play here, but then I'm going to play... I don't understand it. Just play jazz on these. Space jazz. Spice. Why does it sound single coily?
So I have just put in these. I rushed to get this done for the show. I put in 2 pickups in it, 2 humbuckers that are 1979 T-top Gibsons. I just put them in. I think I need to fiddle around with the tone control.
Because that sounds single coily, right? It's way too... There's
It's
some...
just vintage low output humbucker, I guess.
What do I know?
Clear.
I have no idea.
Yes, I think because you got the bridge on, I found the bridge was much thinner sounding than the neck.
But there's some single coily trap. But I mean, who gives the crap? I mean, you play this, you rock, and people go like, dude, the thing is, it'll be the guitar that more people talk about after the gig than any other real vintage guitar, real high-end guitar that you have, because, you know, you take the kids to the gig and they're like, Daddy, remember the guitar that looked like a space thing, or, you know, Castle Grayskull or whatever?
Castle Grayskull. Most people in an audience aren't going to know a lot about guitars.
They're going to know this one. So I know your comments are going to be like, I'm thinking, shut up.
Oh, I do like reading those comments.
Then go right in.
Yeah.
It's a show. Let's put on a show. And why not? I mean, you're watching me and I wear stupid shit, and that's a show. Even though I wear that shit every day and Leslie hates it. And
it's all about the show with these.
And then we have one that's not done.
Oh, yeah. So this one, it's
let me see the Oh, okay, it's heavier. Yes. And this is obviously based on a Warlock BC.
Yes,
BC
you can see
Rich.
the Warlock shape there.
Yeah.
With just the other bits added to it.
Which of course adds to the spaciness with the top right here. That helps. And this really looks like you put the water pistols in there.
I mean, it literally is. It literally is that kind of thing. So this and the bits at the back are from water pistols. It's quite solid plastic, but I backfill them with body filler to make them solid. And as I said before, these guitars are a test to see if this sort of thing will work. Because when you see these sort of kit bashing on YouTube and people doing it, it's not intended for being played live or whatever. It's not intended for being carried around and used.
And when you look at, if you wanted to do macro shots of this and you look at the details, you can either see, you know, that it's not quite done, or there's, you know, in the detail, it's sometimes a little bit crude. But the thing is, nobody cares as a guitar to be filmed in a video or on stage. This has to work from, this is rather sharp, by the way.
Oh, right. Good.
Right there.
Good testing. That is quite sharp.
Yep.
I'm insured.
But is it F sharp or G sharp? It's a music.
It's V sharp.
V sharp. So it needs to work from 10 meters away.
Yeah. So actually, that one down there, the SG, I had a really intricate paint job on it to start with, and it looked great as a model close up, but it just was too confusing when you looked at it as a guitar.
Yeah,
so
exactly. It needs to be functioning from further away. If I go with my macro lenses and shoot everything, it's a little bit, well, I don't want to say undetailed, but I mean, that's not the idea. You need to see the shapes from hanging on a guitar player, filming them from a little bit away.
100%. If a model maker was to look at this under the guise of a model,
that's what I mean.
They would see, especially the paintwork, they would see it differently because it's painted in different ways.
But you can't sit there for 2 weeks and do super intricate paint jobs that make the model maker happy. It needs to work for the show. So you obviously can't say how much something like this will be, because first of all, this is a probably lower end BC Rich, and it's a
that's a Harley Benton.
Then it's even lower. It's even lower grade. But that's not the idea. The idea is someone gives you a guitar that they think is still good enough for the show, but they do want to do this with, and then you develop exactly what they want to do with the guitar player. It's not buy this. It's you. This is what's possible.
Yeah. So when I make these, quite often I put them up for sale, but I also put them up on social medias, and someone will see it on Reverb and say, "I like that style. Can you do something like this for me?"
Exactly.
And that's the aim of it. If I don't make the things, people don't know they're possible.
So it'll be very difficult to say how much, not the guitar, but the mod would be, right?
What I can tell you is these have taken a lot of work to get them there, but I now know what I'm doing.
Mhm.
So if someone came along and said they wanted something, I could probably give them a good idea. But I'm not sure yet how much these will be going for if I put them up.
I want to reach that.
Have you got a suggestion based on your experience? I mean, because the other thing is, some of my guitars are themed around movies, Terminators, Alien themes, and the people that buy them, some of them have been collectors of Alien movies.
Of course, yeah.
So it's got a different audience as well.
But I mean, if I look at this and looking at how much work it is, without the Harley Benton, which is, I don't know, $150, you got to think of an absolute minimum for a craftsman that does a specialized thing, $50 an hour, whether that's pounds or euro, whatever. But I mean, that's an absolute minimum. If I get my electrician over to do a simple job, that's $75 an hour. So let's underpay you and pay you $50 an hour. Add up the hours, and only that, plus the toy gun and some materials, even that alone would probably bring this up to what, 1,500, 2,000?
Well, if you're doing it by the hour, even more. But
yeah, that's what I mean.
One of the problems I've always had until more recently is how to price a guitar when you're making something so weird and it's got a niche market and it takes so long to make.
But you have to price it in a way that keeps you alive.
Absolutely.
And pay taxes, overhead on a website, go to these shows which cost money, all that stuff. So in the end, if we were thinking $50, that includes your health insurance, that includes your electricity, that includes everything. And that's then actually not that much. What's left of that 50 an hour is probably 12. And all of a sudden we're talking about minimum wage here.
So you're giving a very good example of the things I would say to a client if they had a problem. But what tends to happen now is most clients come to me and say, we agree a price, and they're happy with it because they know the quality of what they're getting. And the great thing about working with someone is you can often say to them, what is your budget? And we can design something around what they can afford. So
the thing is, where else can they get someone that specializes in this, which is also worth something? So I would say the price is whatever you're willing to pay, whatever he's willing to accept. You meet somewhere, but make sure, he can feed his dogs. Do you have dogs?
I've got starving children. That's where the water pistols came from.
Yeah, and he needs to feed his children, and then they need to go to school, and then we're in England, and that means they have to wear clothes, like not in Germany where they all go naked. They have to have specific clothes in England. That's expensive, and then the bus, and then you have a car.
No, I can't afford a car.
Do you eat?
I survive off the fumes of the pain. No, yeah, but it's all about the thing. Like when a gigging musician turns up at a gig and they're underpaid, and you try to explain
it's for the exposure.
Yeah.
Well, how about it's for the fuck you?
Yes.
It's that simple. No, this is really cool stuff. We should talk about an animals on the guitar because that could be a fun project. I will link to Devils and Sons below, if I find the link. If not, you find the link. Don't be lazy asses. Adam also talked about these, but don't watch that video. Hopwell Studios is a channel that exists. That's a quality. Thanks, Adam, for switching. Thanks, Mike, for inviting us in your house. Thank you for making cool guitars. And thank you for leaving comments that he's going to enjoy.
Yes, thank you.
And now, Animals at the end.
Father, I have lost I went astray, but I could have become someday. Father, have I lost my way?